Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, looking at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hello and welcome back. I'm your hostess, Amber, and I'm here with my co-host, Kristen and Cindy.
Hey!
Hello.
And if this is your first time joining us, we're glad to have you here. And hopefully you're coming back and returning in the future.
Yes. Love that face.
So this week we are talking about skincare routines. Do you have one? Should you have one? Now, I just recently maybe within the last couple of years, started kind of having a skincare routine, mainly because my skin was so dry that I felt like I needed to have one. And not just like a facial skincare routine, but a whole body kind of skincare routine because I had such dry skin that, and I had like the little puckery up dry skin on my arms that were really bad, and I always thought it was kind of gross. So I kind of made a pact with myself to just kind of
Mom and I are looking at each other like, what are
like little red
puckery up?
like little red bumps.
Puckery dry skin. Keratosis?
Yes, keratosis.
Not laughing at your skin condition, just the verbiage used.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I'll restart that.
No, don't restart
No.
that. That's why we do this show, to make people laugh.
It's like sweater teeth.
Well, I finally got one. Okay. So I have these bumps on my arm. I've heard them called different things. They're keratosis, I've heard of.
They're just little red bumps. Yes.
Yeah. I've heard them called
Keratosis,
chicken skin,
yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Anyway, it used to bother me all the time, and then I started just regularly twice a day putting lotion on my skin. I put the lotion on the skin, and
Get the hose again.
yeah. So I was just
Wow.
not randomly, but I put lotion on my skin every day now, and now I don't have such bad dry skin, and my arms are actually soft and smooth. I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but I've been doing it for about 3 years now, and my skin is very soft and smooth, and I enjoy it.
Interesting. I have the same problem on my upper arms,
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Yeah.
and then I have them on the back of my legs, and I've had them ever since I was a little kid. Like whenever I would go out in the sun, they would get really red.
Yes.
Yeah, mine does that too.
It's actually an overgrowth of the keratin in your skin, or it can be on the mucous membranes also. But mostly people are familiar with it on the skin, and it's an overgrowth of the keratinocytes. I hope I said that right.
Is that a vitamin?
It's the prominent cell type of your skin and your epidermis. And so it's an overgrowth of the skin. And you can also get, there's solar keratosis, which is a pre-malignant condition that it can cause if it overgrows.
Okay.
So, but yes, it's, like I said, it's an overgrowth, but you can also get rid of it with exfoliation.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was interested that you mentioned that you put lotion on it.
Well, I also exfoliate it, at
See,
least once a
I
week.
scrub the heck out of it when I'm in the shower. I have like a special like brush that I use on it to.
No, I don't over exfoliate, but yes, I do use the Shea Sugar Scrub, and I actually make my own sugar scrub.
I have done that.
And
Yeah.
I use that to exfoliate my skin at least once a week.
Oh, I bet that's so much cheaper than buying it.
It
Oh
is.
yeah, I mean sugar's not that expensive, so yeah, it's
You can do it with salt also. You can
yeah,
make
you
salt
can
scrub.
salt scrub, sugar
Oh,
scrub, or coffee ground scrub.
Ah.
Even save your coffee
Ooh.
grounds and make your own
Mhm.
coffee ground scrub, and it's really good. Like I have a scrub that I use on my scalp as well because I have such short, greasy type hair that I have a scrub that I use once a week on my scalp.
Mm. Okay. Well, I have as far as the keratosis, Ashley, our niece, my niece, not our niece, my niece, she actually found a bath mitt that worked really well, and I started using that. And that I just put it on my hand after I lather up, and I'm in the shower and I let the skin get really soft. So at the end
Yeah.
of my shower, I just use that mitt all over my body, and it helps remove all that, and that works really well too. But I've also done the sugar scrub, the salt scrub. I've made my own. I've bought the ones from Bath and Body Works, which are really oily.
Yeah, those are really oily.
They're very oily.
If you buy it in the store, I suggest Tree Hut brand.
I was going to say that. That's the other one
that's
that
my
I have.
favorite that you buy.
I
in the
like
store.
theirs very well. They have one that's the honey and almond, I think, and it has crushed almonds and the honey in it as well, and that one works really well. And I have one that's Himalayan sea salt and the pink salt, and rose hips or rose oil, or I can't remember what. I don't remember what's in it.
I
just
like
remember
the
it's pink
cocoa
sea
butter
salt.
one. That's my favorite one, I think.
But
yeah.
that is not facial skincare. Never use one of those on your face because your face is
Oh.
much tenderer than that. So
Yeah, it definitely like exfoliating your face isn't the best thing to do.
You can exfoliate your face.
You
and
can,
you probably
but
should
not
exfoliate.
every day.
But you should do it with something much, much softer, like a washcloth. Or I use a loofah on my face. I have it's a softer loofah, and I use that to exfoliate my face. And if I don't, I will get overgrowth and all kinds of stuff on my face. So
Yeah, I have some exfoliator for my face, and I use that about once a week. And every day I put a cleanser on my face in the shower. I mean, you probably should do it twice a day, but I at least do it once when I'm in the shower every day. I put a cleanser on my face, and then I also have lotion that I like, non-scented lotion that I use for my face, just like the over-the-counter, I think a generic Target brand that's like CeraVe generic that I use for my face, because that's probably the least harsh thing that I could do because I'm prone to breakouts.
yeah, I use the gentle version of the Cetaphil facial cleanser.
Yeah.
That was actually recommended to me by a dermatologist about 40 years ago, or nearly 40 years ago. And so I've used that ever since then. That's the only thing I use to wash my face. It's a very, very mild cleanser, and I use that with a washcloth usually. Like I say, I do exfoliate with it in the shower, but not every time I wash my face. So the washcloth is.
Yeah, I read somewhere that you shouldn't use soap on your face because
soap is very dry.
if it dries it out. So I use a cleanser on my face in the shower, and then I use the moisturizer, the Cetaphil moisturizer. And just like on my regular skin, my arms and everything like that, I like the aromatherapy from Bath and Body Works.
Ooh, I do like those.
Yeah.
That's one of my guilty pleasures. Like, guilty because I spend a lot.
Well, I do it twice a day.
I used to
aromatherapy.
use those, the Bath and Body Works in the shower, but my skin would still be a little dry, so I started using the Aveeno.
Yes, I love Aveeno,
in the
the
shower.
body wash
Yes,
in the
I use the
shower.
body wash. So, but as far as my facial thing goes, like I said, I wash with the Cetaphil, and I usually follow up with some Sea Breeze, because that
yeah.
returns
Like a toner, yeah.
Yes, I use the toner because that returns your skin back to its natural pH balance after you've washed
I
it.
have a witch hazel toner that I
Witch
use.
hazel. That's
yeah.
the primary ingredient in the Sea Breeze. I just happen to like Sea Breeze because I like the way it smells. And
That was my mom's favorite also, Sea Breeze.
yeah, the blue one. Yes.
Yeah.
I actually, for our listeners who don't know this, I actually was a licensed cosmetologist. So I went to school to learn all the cosmetological, I can't even say that anymore, trades. And one of those included a couple of months special coursework in aesthetology or aesthetics, where you learn about skincare and giving skincare facials and stuff like that. And one of the things that we always did was to finish a treatment with a toner to follow up, because when you're manipulating the face, when you're cleansing it, when you're putting on any kinds of stuff like that, you always want to put that toner back on to return it to its natural pH balance. And then you put on your lotion, and your lotion should include an SPF to protect your skin from sun damage.
So like
See, I've heard that you shouldn't do an SPF, but sorry, Kristen, go on.
oh, that's interesting. No, I was gonna say a while back we had been talking about I think that podcast came out in early September, where we talked about shower or brush your teeth.
Yes.
Like the conundrum
Yes,
of
that
which
was-
one do you pick? Okay.
Yeah.
So I had mentioned that I'm the corner cutter in the morning, and one of my like secrets corner cutting that I'll totally admit to is if for whatever reason I'm in like a super slammed hurry and I don't get a chance to like really wash my face and get out the wash rag and soap it up and get all into that, I will actually use Sea Breeze and I'll put it on a cotton ball and use that to wash my face in the morning.
That's not really cleaning your face, but
No,
yeah.
but I
It
mean,
does
it
make
gets
your
some of
face
the
feel
excess
nice
oil.
and tingly.
yes.
Because I have like I sweat when I sleep. I probably sweat more when I sleep than anything else, and I'll wake up a lot of times with like a really overly oily face,
Yes.
and so that actually helps my face feel really clean.
Yes.
Even if I'm in a pinch, like sometimes I want to do that before I do anything else, just because like I feel icky,
Yeah.
and so I like that. It makes me feel
Well,
fresh.
I've found that if I have a little breakout or anything too, that just doctoring it a little bit with a cotton ball
kind
and
of
some
helps
sea-
open the
kinda-
pore.
Yeah, and it helps dry it out a little more too. So, yeah.
As far as my skincare like routine goes for my face, that's probably where I'm terrible at, is that the actual routine of it, like being consistent.
You must be consistent for it to work. Go on.
Right, you
Yeah.
really do, like just continuing to like take care of your face. Otherwise, it's like a swimming pool that's always the pH balance is off.
Yes.
You shock it, and then you can't swim in it for a few hours, and then
Yeah.
But no, like
You have
I
to do it
will-
every day.
Yeah. So I also use the Cetaphil. I don't use the like gentle one. I like the
Use the
clear
daily.
one. I
Uh-huh.
love that one because I feel like it actually like makes my face feel more like when I wash it.
That's the sound too. No.
Yeah, I know. I like that clean feeling. Like I like that over dried out skin feeling, I guess, because I feel clean. And then afterwards, I will do the Sea Breeze, and then I have I love Clinique lotion. I wish I knew which one it was. It's the yellow one.
Just their basic yellow lotion.
Daily,
Yeah, daily lotion.
Yeah, I love that one. I have this, or maybe because my face is so dry, because I probably overwash it. When I put lotion on, sometimes it feels like it's dragging across my skin, like my hands, and it feels like uncomfortable to put it on unless I put gobs of it, and then my face feels too wet. And I don't like to feel anything.
I don't
on my
like to
face.
feel anything
That's
on my
why I
skin
don't
either.
like wearing lipstick, and I don't like wearing a lot of like eye stuff because I can feel it. I don't like my hair touching my face. I don't want to feel my face. So I don't like to put like
Isn't
really
there a song?
heavy-
Isn't there a
Yes,
Weekend
I
song
can't
about
feel
killing
my
my
face.
face?
I can feel my face when I'm with you.
Okay.
Because I put too much lotion on it. No, but no, yeah, I like the lotion to just go into the skin and then absorb and disappear, right? Dissipate whatever's excess.
Right.
So I'm like super picky about the lotion. So I really like that Clinique one, and that's pretty much the only thing I put on my face. I found that they make like, I'm sorry, I don't know the name, but they're like little vials for like acne, and you kind of put it on. Like,
Oh,
to
I
doctor a pimple.
love that. I do have
I
that.
do not like those because they bleach your clothes and your pillowcases.
Oh, I don't really put it on my clothes. You know, like it doesn't really get on my clothes, but I don't.
Oh, yeah. See, I would put it on like after, because remember we were talking about like our routines, and I shower at nighttime, so I would do a lot of my
see.
skincare
Oh, yeah.
routine is at
See,
night.
I shower in the
Yep.
morning, so
Yeah, all my
Mine is at
skincare
night, too.
routines at nighttime. So I would put that on, you know, like a pimple, and then I would go to bed, and then I'd wake up with like my beautiful new pillowcase would have like this white spot on it, and I'm like,
Oh.
what happened? And then I realized it was that medicine.
Oh yeah.
It actually bleaches. So I know that stuff really works, but I hardly ever use it because I just don't want anything to get bleached out. The other thing that I do, I noticed no one has mentioned yet, puffy eyes. I have the worst puffy eyes due to sinus
Clinique
issues.
also has
Yes,
the best
I
eye
love
cream.
that eye
I do
roller.
use Clinique for the eye cream.
I
Yes,
use that like twice a day, and it feels so good.
and my
Even if it
regular
doesn't
makeup's
work,
Clinique.
even if it doesn't make my eyes like shrink, you know, like the puffiness, I love the way
You
it
can
feels.
see
the
a
roller ball.
visual, like you can see a visual difference. It might not like immediately happen, but if you use it consistently every day, you can see a visual difference.
Yeah, it
I
tightens
noticed
up
that.
this
Yeah.
little area here, and I like putting it on my eyelids. It's so cooling because it's like a roller ball and it's like really cold.
Oh yeah.
And you put it on. It's like, you know, the whole idea of putting
yeah. The
cucumbers,
cucumbers
on
on your
Mhm.
eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that take the
Feels
puffiness away.
So good. I love it. So I have like multiple vials of that, and I take one with me everywhere. I just put that stuff on my eyes.
Now, I like the regular eye cream lotion as well. That is part of my skincare routine in the morning. Like I'll use the witch hazel and then I'll put the eye cream on and then I'll put the moisturizer on.
Yeah, see, I don't do that much in the morning because, well, I don't wear makeup most days. So
Well, you guys mostly work from home too.
and I work from home, and
Yeah.
I shower in the evening. So a lot of that kind of skincare happens at night, like Kristen. So I'm trying to remember the name of this brand that you buy from the dermatologist. And I can't remember what it is, but it's I think it's a retinol type serum.
Oh, there's so many of those out.
I
now.
know, and it just I put it on the like dark spots and stuff to help bleach those out. Or also the Pond's dark spot remover works really well too. But you have to kind of be consistent with using it, and I will
You
put that
know
on.
what?
But
I
it will bleach
noticed
your
that.
stuff out
Like,
too.
One day I just looked in the mirror and I have all these dark spots on my face. That's genetics in our family.
Well,
Our
and it's
skin-
sun damage also
Yeah.
because like
We're
if you get a
freckles.
See, I don't really have dark spots.
if you get
I
a
don't think.
sunburn and it peels, but like maybe the whole thing doesn't peel, maybe you got a few little spotches that
Mm-hmm.
don't peel, and then they continue to get sunburned and damaged, and that damage goes deeper and deeper and deeper in your skin, and eventually that becomes a dark spot. So
you guys go out in the sun more than I do. Also, I'm not a very sun person.
we go camping, we go canoeing, we do the 3-day walk. We've
Yeah.
done we did scouting,
hiking and fishing and-
yeah, we've
I'm
done
a
a lot of stuff.
vampire, so
Yeah, well,
I
I
am
now.
too. I just burn.
yeah.
I just turn to ashes and then come back inside.
I'm a lot darker, but I do have dark spots.
Yeah.
That
I
that come
noticed
up,
this
and I
one
have to
on my
remove them.
forehead, and it's kind of alligatory. Like,
Yeah.
I can tell it feels different. And I
get-
noticed too, like when I go outside, like if I'm outside for like a few hours, like as I noticed when we came back from our trip to New Orleans, it's kind of hot and muggy, and I was looking in the mirror. And I was like, oh my gosh, my face is like breaking out, like from being outside and being sweaty,
Mhm.
like my skin, like when I get in the sun, if I get a sunburn, I get a lot of these tiny little micro pimples too.
Yeah.
So I have to do like extra
Well,
stuff to my
sometimes
skin
the
from being
medications
outside.
that you take actually make you more sensitive to sun damage and stuff like that too. So that's always a good thing to be aware of. And that goes back to the wearing, um, uh, e- even if it's just a slight SPF, a small, in your like a
Like a
moisturizer
15
that
under
has
your
a
makeup?
small
Yeah.
or a makeup that has a slight SPF is better than nothing. And then I always recommend wearing a hat when you're outdoors to shade your face. That is like one of the best protections you can do, and because that damage, you may say, oh, it's just a little pink right now, but that damage builds and builds and builds over time. That sun damage is
Yeah.
radioactivity. If you think about it, it is
This-
radioactivity, and it doesn't go out of your body. It just keeps building, and you wind up with free radicals that
Mhm.
cause skin cancer, and it just does damage to your face.
Yeah, my grandma, she had 2 different types of skin cancer. The last one that she had was melanoma, and it was, just like you said, over and over. And it's funny because like she used to, when she was a kid, chop cotton when she like on the farm,
Yes.
and she had the shirt that she wore had a hole in it, and she wore it every day, and like that one piece of skin
Right.
and everything like that eventually became skin cancer.
Well, and something that people often don't realize, your clothes are not sufficient protection against the sun. You can still get sunburn through your clothing, particularly white clothing. And a lot of people who work outdoors all the time, they wind up dressing in layers
Yeah.
to get a little bit more, or buying clothing that has an SPF in the clothing, because your your clothing is not sufficient
doesn't.
protection. And a lot of people who are out in the sun a lot, like they were back then.
Yeah.
Or my dad was a carpenter. He was outside in the sun all the time. So I have an uncle who is an agronomist, and he's out in fields with the farmers, looking at their crops and stuff all day long. And he's had several skin cancers removed. And, I'm sure he takes care of himself and stuff, but
Yeah.
there's only so much you can do. So,
That's true. Like, if I don't put some kind of lotion or something on when I go out, and like it really doesn't even matter what time of year it is. Like, you have to put lotion on like when you go skiing.
because it
everything
reflects
like
off the
that.
sun.
The worst. I get
Oh, yeah.
windburn.
Snowburn or windburn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and snowburn is like when the
Snowburn.
sun reflects on
On the
the sun.
snow.
It makes it
Uh-huh.
stronger
Yeah.
than.
Well, and people often don't realize you can sunburn through the windows of your house or through the windows of your car. You think
Oh,
that
yeah,
you're in
like,
your car.
Probably happened to
What
me.
is it, like our driver's tan? That's like
Yes.
the worst.
I have one
especially-
arm that's darker than the other.
Yeah.
And my windows are tinted. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't help. I remember one time I went to a festival, and I think it was like October or November. When in Texas, it's not that, it's still warm in October
Yeah,
and
you
November.
could be
So
wearing
like there was
shorts.
an outdoor festival I went to several years ago. And I was like, oh, it's October. I don't need sunscreen. It was like 70 degrees outside. And, it was an all day outdoor thing, no shade. And then I get home and I've got the worst sunburn. And I'm like, well, maybe I should have put something on, like I didn't feel the sun because it was 70 degrees.
That's the worst
and-
time when it's
Yeah.
not hot. You don't feel
You
the
don't
burn.
realize
Yeah,
you're
so
burning.
you're outside and you don't realize it. So, it's always good to be cautious. Last summer I went to the beach, and it had been years since I'd been to the beach. So I put that thick sunscreen on just in case.
Well, and a lot of people don't put sunscreen on frequently enough. Putting it on once before you go outdoors is not enough. You have to put it on 20 minutes before you go outside because it has to actually soak into your skin to give you that protection. And you have to reapply it every hour or two because if you don't, it loses its effectiveness. So, and you also want to do the highest skin protection, the highest SPF that you could possibly use.
I hope that our scientists are investing more time and energy into making better sunscreens that are more convenient to use. And
yes,
oh,
the
burn
facial
my skin.
Well,
Oh my
the facial sunscreen sunblocks are terrible. They're terrible. They're full of oil.
Mm-hmm.
They're very greasy, and when I put them on, I instantly get a chemical burn from them.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm
like putting
obviously
acid on my face.
Yeah. It's worse than the sunburn that I would get. So I have to be very careful with that kind of sunblock. Now I'm not talking about the SPF 6 or whatever that's in or SPF 15 that's in your makeup or whatever. I'm talking about the 50, the 75, the 100, Neutrogena or whatever, which is a really good one, but it's too greasy and it like literally I will burn worse with that on than I do if I don't do anything at all.
Yeah, I hate it. It hurts my skin.
It does. It burns. So I don't know if it's an allergy to something that's in it. Obviously not everybody has that problem or they wouldn't keep making it, but I just can't wear it at all. So my best defense is a hat. Yeah. And just cover my face up. Yeah. So what other kinds of, I'm trying to think.
Oh man, I got some other skincare routines besides just using lotions and soaps. So I have, a hairy face and I hate
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Face.
Oh my gosh.
And I will I have one of those big like blow up mirrors.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like one of those things I'll do like once a week. I'll sit in front of the mirror and pluck the like random hairs that start growing on my neck.
I have a mole on my lip that I have to pluck. And that is
one hair on my chin that
a lot of people a lot of people talk about, "Oh, you should never pluck the hairs from your mole." That is an old wives' tale. It doesn't do anything.
It
just
bothers me if I don't pluck it.
Yeah, mine's like really dark and it looks like a witch. So I am the crone, but I don't want to look like the crone. So yeah. So that one has to go.
I like to sit, like you said, I like to pluck my eyebrows. Like a lot of people go and get it done, but it's very zen-like to pluck my eyebrows.
I remember plucking your eyebrows for the first time in college. Jamie and we sat you down on the stool in the kitchen and you were like sneezing every 5 seconds.
Remember when I waxed your face and I overheated the wax and it got stuck on your face?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh. And this is why you pay somebody to do this and don't do this.
You know what? I actually don't wax, and that's why I pluck, because I'm sure a lot of people are like, why don't you just wax it? But whenever I go to wax it, I guess because my pH on my face.
Well, a lot of people get a breakout from waxing.
I literally will get like a
I'm
red
not a fan
mustache.
of waxing either.
Yeah, it irritates the
These
skin
little, tiny
and you get
pimples.
little pimples from it. Yeah, a lot of people do that. But the waxing does last longer than the plucking.
It does. And then it gets it all at once.
And it hurts less because if you do it, it's like really, and then it's done.
Yeah.
So.
The plucking doesn't bother me anymore.
It doesn't
There's only
bother me
one
either.
little spot that bothers me, like right underneath
Oh,
my
that
nose.
makes you sneeze, right?
Yeah, it just makes me sneeze. And everyone's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just plucking my face.
if you pull the skin really tight, this is something I've learned that people maybe not know. If you pull the skin really tight and you pull the hair out in the direction it is growing, like straight out, it will hurt a lot less. If you try to pull it in the wrong direction,
that's when it hurts.
Or the skin is not really tight, that's when it hurts.
Interesting. Okay.
So that was a tip from the cosmetologist. There we go.
Yep.
Do any of you like Dr. Pimple Popper?
No.
Not necessarily Dr. Pimple Popper, but it is very
I know a lot of people that
fascinating.
Yeah.
do. People watch.
Like I know like my fiance, he has really bad back acne, like to the point where he's had to go to the hospital to get the Dr. Pimple Popper treatment. He'll probably kill me for mentioning this, but it was definitely like I was in on one of his back surgeries that he had to have a really bad one removed, like a really bad ingrown hair situation, that it was like almost to his spine. It was so large they had to cut a big hole into his back. Look, like now there's like an indented spot in his back because they cut like a big chunk out of his back.
It abscessed.
Yeah, it abscessed, and that was like the most fascinating thing being in on that surgery. Just seeing it it was.
He should consider exfoliating and antibacterial soap.
Yeah, he does use the antibacterial
and
soap.
make sure he rinses very well afterwards. But the exfoliation is a big key part of that also, because if the pores are getting blocked or the follicles are getting blocked so that the hair is not able to grow out, then that is a lot of times what will cause that. And then the bacteria, the antibacterial soap will help keep the bacteria off the skin. And that's a good tip for any kind of acne.
That's literally how I get
face.
them on my face,
Yes.
is because the hair is trying to come out,
Yes.
because I get these stupid hairs.
Yeah, but the antibacterial soap does help with that.
And
I
use that on my like regular skin as
Yeah.
well, you know, especially like in the summertime
your
when it's way
armpits,
sweaty.
hello, yes.
Or like boobs, under the boob.
Yes. I was going to say, though, you know, you're talking about how fascinating it is. And that was one of the things when I was in cosmetology school. We spent a lot of time clearing people's blackheads and whiteheads.
What's that
and
tool
things.
called? The little circle thing.
Oh, gosh.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
love
But
Wouldn't you just
how
call
that
blackhead tool?
it's a comedone is the name of the pimple, but
I think it's just called a blackhead tool.
I don't know.
I'm sure it has.
But
Like
well, we use different. We do use different things. So mostly we did a rolling technique, which because you don't ever want to pinch your pimples.
You want to roll it out.
You want to roll it
On the
out,
side.
so because if you pinch it, you can bruise it and damage the skin, and that makes it infected and even worse. So, the skin needs to be warmed, like warm water or whatever, and soap. You wash it with soap and warm water to soften up the skin, and then we used soap, or not soap. I'm using that term very like
So you
the
would get that
cleanser.
done when you would go get a facial, or
Yes. This is
I'm
what we
kind of
used
curious
to do.
about that.
We used to do this, and then we took cotton and wrapped our fingers in cotton and gently rolled the blackheads out between two fingers, kind of like Chinese jump rope with the sticks. You know how you make the sticks click together? That's what you do with your finger to push the like this.
that, yeah.
Yes, like this. I know y'all can't see, but
that's one thing that Dr. Pimple Popper does on her videos.
is roll
the
some
roll.
fingers.
Yeah.
So, and you roll those out, and then we also use lancets, like a diabetic would use to prick their finger, with a or like with a magnifying glass, because we can see the pore, and we are licensed to do that.
Yeah.
You got to be careful because you don't want to just go poking your skin, but you open the pore with the lancet, through the opening of the pore, so that you can get those things out when they're in really bad shape and the skin has blocked the pore. So that's the reason why you need to exfoliate, because you need to keep that skin from growing over the pore. But those were the things that we did, and the direction I was going with this was that it was really fascinating to me, and it's really hard for me to look at somebody's face that has a lot of blackheads or a lot of
You just
whiteheads.
You want to do it.
I want to. I'm not fascinated with watching Dr. Pimple Popper, but I know a lot of people who are. But I want to do them myself because I did that, and
Well,
I know
it's fascinating to do it yourself too.
Right, it is. It is. I've always. I mean, I do them on myself. Obviously, I'm old enough. I don't have very many opportunities to do that anymore. But not that I want.
You
to.
can have some of my pimples.
No,
if
I
you'd
don't
like.
want your pimples either. But I, it is. I just see people's face, and I'm just like, I want to pop that pimple.
I have seen like people like that with like the huge blackheads on
yeah.
their nose.
Yeah.
I've been kind of keeping mine at bay, like I used to have like big blackheads like that, but the older I get, the less I do, like you're saying. So.
Yeah, well, your skin gets less oily, and you have less hormones to mess with everything too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you can have blackheads at any age because a blackhead is just the
And
oils
not just
and
on your face,
and
yeah.
and it's just the oils and the dirt collected in that pore. So it's important to keep it clean, and it's important to.
I always get those Biore strips, and I put
Oh,
them on.
I love those.
I'm always disappointed. There's never anything on them.
Oh, well, maybe you're cleaning
I
too
know.
good.
Maybe. I don't
Charcoal
know.
masks are another great one.
I
I have
tried
a
that
friend who made charcoal masks,
Mhm.
and I buy them from her for every once in a while. And they're great to put on because when you pull that off, you can just see all the stuff that
Little
comes
extra
out.
that
So,
comes with it. Yeah.
yeah. And, even when you think your face is clean.
Mhm.
The same thing with the wiping down with the sea breeze after you've washed your face.
Oh yeah.
You
Sometimes
still have
That's why
like
I
a
like
dirty
using it.
Yeah.
like bit
It's like
on
a
your
little
face, like
dingy-
ooh.
Yeah.
I thought I cleaned good, but then
Yeah.
here's this.
You know what I did was one of the things I had thought about is, ooh, like when you're in the shower, you have like your wash rag or whatever it is you wash your body with. And I was like, that'd be kind of gross to wash my face with that. And then when you wash at the sink, not in the shower, if you're just using your hand, you're not exfoliating, right? You're not.
I use a washcloth in the sink.
Right. And so I was, using little washcloths, but then I found these like facial pads
Mhm.
at the Dollar Tree. There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
in a little container.
And
they're
they're
like
reusable.
little mini wash rag looking
Right.
things. Yeah.
One
and
a
they have
day or whatever.
like a
yeah.
kind of a scratchy material on one
Mhm.
side and terry cloth kind of fuzzy on the other side, and those are really awesome. I do use those. I bought enough so that I could just use a different one every day.
Mhm.
And because one of the things that I was not doing good was for the longest time I used to just go to bed in my makeup, and I know a lot of
Oh,
people
that's
do that.
terrible,
And
terrible,
one of
terrible.
my friends, she has like the perfect skin. She never gets pimples. She goes to sleep in her makeup. And she doesn't have a skincare routine. Like, she does nothing to her face except put more makeup on it and then just wash it off in the shower in the morning. And I'm like, why? You have no pimples. Not fair. I have to wash
Oh, yeah.
my makeup off because if I go to sleep
Oh, my
with my
eyes will
makeup
be
on,
sweating.
I
It gets on
will.
your,
It's not even
uh,
just in my eyes or getting it on my pillows. Like, I will break out. I will wake up with these ginormous pimples on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I always recommend taking your makeup off. And I tell you, my favorite makeup remover, eye makeup remover, is the Mary Kay eye makeup remover. It is not oily. Even the
Clinique one is very oily.
I haven't used the
Yeah, it
Clinique
is,
one, but
but
I've
I
I've
love
used the
that one.
Neutrogena one, and it's supposed to be oil free. And it, you have to shake it because it really is. It's an oil and I don't know what all in it, and you have to shake it because it separates. But it's still very oily. The micellar water or whatever it is, I can't remember what it is exactly. It works well, but it's just a little too oily for my face. But the Mary Kay one is very perfectly not oily, and I will just use that on my eye makeup and then use my Cetaphil to wash all over,
Yeah.
including my eyes again. You can also use, oddly enough, baby shampoo. Baby shampoo
for makeup remover or
to
eye makeup
for your
remover.
eye makeup remover.
Okay.
Because it is gentle on your eyes and it will not
and it
tear.
doesn't burn your eyes. Yeah, because
Yes.
that's one of the problems I have is because my eyes get irritated from the makeup. So when I go to wash it off, it irritates my eyes.
Yes.
And so that's a lot of times where I kind of dread washing off my makeup, because then I know like my eyes are going to be watery for quite a while afterwards. One of the ones that I found that I really like is Clinique. And like you said, they have two different ones that I like. There's like a liquid one that's kind of oily, and you just put it on like your cotton ball. But there's one that looks like coconut oil.
Oh,
Right, because it's like kind of solid.
So,
It
okay.
looks like
Yes.
Crisco. I love that one. So you just dip your finger in, and I rub it on my eyes first, and then I massage it all the rest, because it's a full total makeup remover.
oh, okay.
And
who is that? Is
it's
Clinique?
Clinique.
It's
Also-
Clinique.
And it is amazing. It takes all the makeup off your face. It's so weird, because you would think that adding an oil to an oil would just
Be oily.
be oily, but
Right.
it's weird. Like your powders and makeup, like your base, when you put it on your face, it just turns it into a liquid, and then you just wipe it off.
Right.
And I use the soap to wash that off, but it does an amazing job of taking the makeup off, because even like these waterproof mascaras and stuff, that will still be on my face
Right,
if I
but
don't use something
Those
strong
you
enough.
have to use an eye makeup remover to remove
Eye makeup, yeah.
eye makeup.
Yeah, and that's why I like that
Yeah.
Clinique one, because and it's not a liquid, so it doesn't spill. Whenever I go on trips, I have in my little sundry bag, I have this tiny little container of it, where I just took like a measuring scoop of it and put it in a little closing travel container. And I love that, because it goes a really long ways. One bottle of that has lasted me like 2 years.
Be
Which, I
careful.
mean-
Be careful of that, because if you're putting your finger in it, you could be
right. It could
contaminating
be
it.
old, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing with your skincare routines. You should throw your mascaras away when they are 6 months old,
Right, yeah.
I
'Cause
think
they
it's
do
6 months old,
expire,
yes.
and I think
Well,
there's something
because
like
they can get
there's-
contaminated and they get dried out also.
His lipstick also expires. Like
Oh yeah, they get bitter tasting, smelling,
and
weird.
yeah, they get
and-
weird smelling.
Well, and you can, when you're like with the lipstick, you're putting it on your lip. You're getting germs on it. Same thing with your eye. You know, you're
tear
getting
ducts are
you're getting
sinus
things
ducts.
on that mascara, and then you're putting it back on your eye and reinfecting. And you have, there are like little mites that live in your eyelashes.
Yes, I thought that was like a joke in school. That's
No.
real.
That is real. And those can get in your mascara and stuff too. So, and actually washing your eyelids or with the baby shampoo helps remove those. It also helps remove pollen from your eyelids. Like if you have allergies and you wake up in the morning with, you can wash your eyelids with
Okay,
the
that's
baby shampoo
interesting.
to help remove the pollen from your eyes.
One of the
Yes.
things that I stopped doing was drying my face off with the hand towel in the bathroom.
Oh yes, no, yeah.
Gross.
you
I
use a
realized
clean
one day
towel.
what I was doing, and I was like, ew. Other people are drying their hands on this towel after they may or may not have properly washed their hands.
Yes.
And then I was like, that's disgusting. And now I have my own towel that I use to dry my face off
Yes.
with, and I hide it.
And when you wash your face, use a clean washcloth every time.
Yes.
And I wanted to go back to, you were talking about your little face wash cloths. A lot of people will like crochet or buy crocheted face washing cloths. Like it's just like a little round circle. It looks like a coaster or something. And they're just crocheted out of cotton, and you can wash your face with those. And you can also exfoliate with something similarly made out of tulle.
I was about to say, didn't you used to make those?
Yes. So you can make a little exfoliating mat out of crocheted tulle. And there's different scratchiness of tulle. So, for different parts of your body or whatever. But that was one of the things I used to sell in my Etsy shop a long time ago, was the little mats. So there would be like a week's worth of the little mats. So you could just wash them and then, wash your face and then wash them.
Yeah, I toss them all in like one of those laundry,
laundry
bags,
bags.
so
Yes,
they
a
don't
laundry
get
bag.
lost. Yeah.
Mhm. And they wash really well.
Okay, well, y'all have anything else y'all want to talk about? Or
Not
I
that I
think
can think of.
I'd like to hear what our readers have, if they have any great tips, or our readers.
Readers
Our
and
listeners-
listeners.
readers
Yeah, our
and
readers
listeners.
and listeners, because remember,
Well,
if
hopefully,
you should check out the blog,
yes.
because you're missing part of the conversation if you don't check out the blog.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, hopefully they're reading and listening. And if they are, please give us some of your tips. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Maybe we've missed something that's a good thing to help everybody else.
So next week we have a topic coming up, and Kristen is our hostess.
Yeah, next week we're talking about taking your crafts with you when you travel.
Oh, okay, that's
or your
fun.
hobby, your
That's-
craft
yeah.
hobby. Or
I'm
whatever.
kind of a specialist at that, so I'm
Yeah,
I'm looking
I've
forward to
done
that
that
one.
before too. Yeah, so that'll be fun. And we'd also like to thank some people before we go. We'd like to thank Red Door Studios and Creative Audio Tech for our music and recording equipment. And of course, we talked about our listeners earlier. We'd like to thank our listeners, those of you that keep coming back. And if you enjoyed our podcast, please give us a good rating and share it with your friends.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. And of course, we talked about the blog. So
Please
check out our
Go
blog.
check out the blog.
You're missing part of the conversation.
Modernmusings.net.
Yes.
www.modernmusings.net.
And we also wanted to tell you before we go, happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. We will talk to you guys next week we won't talk to you, but
we do.
tune in next week for our podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.